Newcastle United have had a brilliant season, finishing 4th in the Premier League and qualifying for the UEFA Champions League for the first time in 22 years. However, we're going to see how well they do in their first season back in the big competition with all the signings that they're going to try and make this summer. Right then, so we're going to start off with the current squad and we're going to decide whether we should keep, loan or sell these current Newcastle United players. So starting off with Nick Pope, we are indeed going to keep, as he has been phenomenal in between the sticks for Newcastle United this season. Moving on to Carl Darlow, he's been here for ages and he was even the Championship goalkeeper, but we are indeed going to sell him as it looks like he's going to join Hull City on a permanent. Mark Gillespie got 12 months left in his contract and it looks like we will be selling him. Same goes with Loris Karius. Moving on to Martin Dubravka, and we're actually going to keep this guy as he's a decent backup to Pope. Jamal Lewis, unfortunately he was bought under Steve Bruce and didn't fill his potential, so we will be selling him as we've got better options at the club now. Matt Target, keep him for squad depth, brilliant player. Fabian Shaw, absolutely phenomenal season, keeping him for sure. Sven Botman, one of the best left-footed centre-backs in the Premier League, definitely staying at the club. Dan Burn had to do a job at left-back this season and he did a brilliant job staying. Paul Dummett, he will be kept because of the UEFA laws and how you need homegrown players in your team to play in the Champions League, so he will stay. Kellen Watts, he will be loaned out as he was on loan at Peterborough last season and needs more experience. Jamal Lascelles, the team captain, he will stay for sure. Kieran Clark, back from Sheffield United where he didn't really perform very well, he'll be going out the door. Kieran Trippier, staying for sure. Emil Kraft, stay. Mankio, stay. And Harrison Ashby, the final right back in the club, will loan out. Isaac Hayden, unfortunately it hasn't really worked out in the recent years, so we'll be selling them. Same goes with Matt Ritchie, he's getting on now and there's not really much place in the squad for him. Lewis Miley just recently made his professional debut for the senior team, so we will loan him out. Matthew Longstaff, unfortunately we'll be selling him. Joe Willock, keep. Elliot Anderson will loan out to the Championship, as we will probably buy someone in that central midfield spot who's probably a bit better. Jeff Hendrick, sell, definitely. Joe Linton, definitely keep him as he's been phenomenal and had an unbelievable turnaround. Bruno Guimaraes, probably the best player in the team alongside Kieran Trippier, he will be staying. Sean Longstaff, staying of course. Joe White, he'll be loaned out as he did alright at Exeter last season. Moving on to Alan St Maximin, and he will be sold as I don't think he's really part of Eddie Howe's plans, and he also put out a strange post on Instagram basically confirming that he is leaving the club. Anthony Gordon, definitely got potential to be one of England's best wingers, he will be staying at the club. Cowell, he will be going out on loan to get more experience. At the age of 17 he's a brilliant player and just needs a chance. Jago Murphy had a phenomenal end to the season, so he will stay. Ryan Fraser already fell out with the gaffer ever since rejoining with him, he'll be put on the transfer list. And the final three, Miguel Almiron, unbelievable season, he'll be staying. Alexander Isak, world class player, he's staying. Same with Callum Wilson, who had a phenomenal season as well. So the first player at the door is Carl Darlow and he will be joining Celtic for £2.4 million. It's a bit unfortunate that he has to end this way, however it is 2023 and he has to go. Right then, so for the first signing of the transfer window we have signed Kieran Tierney from Arsenal for about 25 million. The Scottish left back is a brilliant player and he's definitely targeted by Newcastle, and to get him for such a cheap price I thought why not, and I'm very happy with the signing. For the second player to depart the club is Elliot Anderson, going to Brentford on a 1-year loan deal, so at least it's not permanent and I'm sure you'll get some good game time there. So then for the second signing of the season we have signed Gabby Vega from Celta Vigo for about £25 million. This is a very good signing as he is a wonder kid from Spain and will slot into this team really well and play a big factor as a rotation player in the Champions League. So then for the third signing of the season we have signed James Maddison. I'm sure it's not a surprise to you as Newcastle have been pursuing this player for about a year now. However, he's a fantastic player and will really benefit us when it comes to squad depth and helping us out in the final third. We've signed him for about 55 million from Leicester City, who are now in the Championship. The next player to leave the club is the man from down under. It is Cowell and he will be getting loaned out to Victoria in Portugal for 2 years, and I'm sure he'll benefit very highly from this. So for the final signing of the season we have signed Moussa Diaby from Leverkusen for a lot of money, £40 million plus Alan St Maximin, as St Maximin does look to be leaving the club in real life. It's a lot of money, but he will help us out massively on that right hand side. So here is the team for the start of the season, and as you can see, it's a pretty insane team, looking really good and very competitive as the bench is stacked. So I really do believe that we can go far in the Champions League and hopefully maintain our position in the league. So let's see where we finish. Well then lads, here we are at the end of the season, and we managed to finish 4th with 80 points, 3 points behind 3rd Tottenham. But I'm very happy with that, as we knocked out Chelsea, Man City and Arsenal and kept them out of the top 4, which is incredible. So fair play to Newcastle, they did a very good job there. Let's see how they did in the other competitions. In the FA Cup we were knocked out by the holders Man City 3-1 in aggregate. In the FA Cup we were knocked out by Man City 3-1 at Wembley in the semis. And then in round 3 of the Carabao Cup we were knocked out by Brentford 5-4 on penalties, so the round of 32 that is. And then in the Champions League, we managed to knock out Atletico Madrid 4-1 on aggregate, which is incredible. And then in the quarterfinals we drew Olympique Marseille, beating them 6-1 on aggregate, so we're in the semi-finals of the European Champions League. And then unfortunately for Newcastle, it all came to an end as the 14 times holders Real Madrid beat us 4-2 on aggregate and also won the Champions League against Man City in the final. So a very good season from Newcastle, however no trophies, which is really unlucky.